I saw that little green screen bit.
Yeah, the headset with the little loop is the problem.
Uh,
It looks like I'm frozen.
Fortunately, my computer does not want to let me hear what's going into it. So we're streaming live, but we're already live, by the way. I'm gonna have to like do. Well, I just clicked it.
Okay.
I got to do the whole like make an edit, wait 30 seconds to see how it sounds, and then run back and go.
I might be frozen on your screen. It looks like
yeah, you're frozen.
Yeah, you are.
We've lost you. There you are.
Yeah, I was trying to switch back. It took a second.
With a plain blue background. Sad.
Sorry. Theoretically, I could, not today, but get regular headphones and just have the webcam mic work, but then...
Yeah, typically that's worse sound quality. Like your headset's pretty good.
I figured this would be better quality, so I just wanted to go with that. Let's see.
All right, actually, I guessed pretty well. That's actually kind of nice. So now I got to do one more thing, and then I'll be ready.
There, that's a little better.
Just let me know if you're hearing any background noise, too. I'll try and maybe, depending. Should be okay. But when the baby starts going to bed, it might be not as fun.
Oh, that's too bright. That's too dark. Ah, well, going back to the other light. Ladies and gentlemen, Chris Renshaw.
The one, the only. Maybe not the only. I don't know.
I'm sure he's not. Apparently, Randy Ward is a politician in California.
I could see it.
For a while, if you Google my name, there was a website called StopRandyWard.com.
like there are a lot of pretty cool options for characters as far as the superheroes are concerned.
I don't even know where to work. Is there a chapter for superheroes in here, or?
So you'll build your character with a few different choices. The
But
main choice that affects your character is your, I forget the name of it. Your trait, your focus. So somewhere around like page 93 is the table I'm looking at. But then they describe them.
Oh, here we go. Superheroes. I see it.
I'm sure he'll go over the character creation, but this is like I think it seems like the most flavorful part.
Okay. Yeah, because I make a change of plan today because that was not the book I studied last night.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty. Hopefully, I got everything working now. Just trying to pull up chat. Hey Ryan, have you seen my wizard dice?
I think I saw them somewhere.
Okay, like the
Honestly,
fireball
not in
D6.
person. Yeah, that looks cool. Yeah, I think I saw a video where you were showing this. They
Bum,
look
bum,
pretty
bum,
fancy.
ba-dum, bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 ba-dum, bum. Fireball. Bum, 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 ba-dum, bum.
Okay.
It's a song called Fireball.
I was getting that, but okay.
You just said your dice was a fireball.
I don't know the song is what I was getting at.
Oh.
It's probably
listen
not
to
what
the
you're
song.
expecting.
It's not-
The music video is pretty amusing though, actually. Because
Is it
he's
a musicking? Never mind, that didn't work.
Yes.
All right. One last thing is I need to let people know that we're actually online.
Oh yeah.
Kind of helps. How's everybody going? Thanks for flexing to this tonight.
No problem.
Yeah, it's fine. It's getting me away from family for a bit, so.
Probably a good thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool.
All right, that is shared.
I have no idea who that is. Decline. I forget when you're logged into your iMac, all the video of all.
Yeah, that's why I turned most of that off. I had it on until I started using my Mac and podcasting, and it's like, oh crap. I don't want that.
It's usually not a problem, but it actually works out because I'm in my basement and my cell phone doesn't get a signal down here.
Hmm.
So my phone itself is on the nightstand up on the second floor.
That sounds useful.
So I can Wi-Fi the phone to iPad, watches, Macs.
That's what my
Wherever I
watch
go.
is for. All right.
I'll probably get out my iPad too.
I have dice here, even though I don't need them.
Yeah, you don't roll anything.
Yeah, well, sometimes I like to roll
I
things
guess
just
you
because.
can, yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. I didn't get out my official Cypher dice.
I should get some dice too, shouldn't I?
The
Yes.
original was very nice.
I don't know
but
if you're gonna
bought me
need
a-
them. I don't know if you're gonna need them tonight, but just in
Oh,
case.
True. Got my sack
Well,
right
somebody bought me an official set of Cypher dice.
I know. I wonder who that could be. That sounds like a really
I don't know.
upstanding dude.
here. So how is that different from normal dice? That's my question.
It has the Cypher system on the 20,
Oh, cool.
and it only includes the 4 dice you need:
The one-
D20, 2 D10s, and a D6. It's like, have you ever seen Q Workshop dice?
Yes.
It's the company that made these dice. They're just Q Workshop dice.
Cool.
Q Workshop.
I
All I
wanted
see
to
is
do the Ghost of
warning!
Files RPG, and so I have way too many fudge dice.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
know what to do.
I have like 8 or 9 sets of fudge dice.
I know. Same here. It's ridiculous.
Mainly because I love the different colors.
Mhm.
If you saw the, I don't know if you watched the Fate game that we ran on New Year's Eve.
I haven't yet, but it's on my.
But like, if you look inside, I put the dice tray in the center, and I lined the
I saw that.
outside like completely around with fudge dice.
That's good.
Let's see if it does me any good if I need it tonight, Chris.
Oh.
This is called the crit fail tray.
Ah, crap. One thing. I got to flip laundry, and then we can get started.
Okay.
Sorry. Chloe will come down here yelling at me, which
Roll
might
for
be funny on
initiative.
stream.
Bum, 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 ba-dum, bum. Ba-dum, bum, ba-dum, bum.
Yeah, this should be fun, I think. I wish this PDF I had were more bookmarked, but it is what it is.
Oh, for the rule book?
Mm-hmm.
I'll just put it on my desktop so I could find it. And then my official book came in the mail, brand new. Smells like a brand new book.
Nice.
And it hasn't had beer or coffee spelt on it yet from the game table.
Give it time.
All right. Everyone ready to get started?
Yep.
Do it.
I'm only
Yep.
7 minutes late. That's not a big deal. It's actually pretty good for me. All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to what I've dubbed the Legion of Dirtbag Heroes, which is kind of what I went with here. We're going to be playing the Cypher system core set, and particularly we're going to be playing the we're going to be doing a superheroes game, thus the name. I'll be GMing this. My name's Chris Renshaw, and I'm going to point to the one without video that's on my right.
That's not how I see it.
So
That's on the left.
that would be Katie.
Hi, I'm Katie. I'm in Kentucky right now, which is why you don't see me.
And then below me is Randy.
Hi. I'm in my basement.
Me too.
Dude,
And then to the diagonal over there is Ryan.
I feel like a Hollywood Squares. I'm Ryan. Hi, I'm from North Carolina. It's snowing here. It's terrifying.
Is it still
And in the middle
snowing?
of-
Yeah, it's been snowing all day.
Like it was snowing, but it's kind of stopped. And it's funny because like everybody panicked thinking it was going to be bad, but then it was like the roads just got like dusted.
We got a few inches at least.
So
And in the middle is Whoopi Goldberg.
the center square.
Circle takes the square.
So this is going to be our session 0, if you will. This is our character creation bit. So not a whole lot of rules. This is a lot of conceptual stuff. And I've already pissed Randy off because he left.
He's
No,
done.
I went to get a notebook.
So all the guys, everyone here has not done like any pre-work per se, other than I just told them to kind of conceptually think about what they wanted to do as a character, and then we'll kind of cipherize it in this session. So basically, let me set some tone, kind of what I don't want to do anything serious, as evident by the title. I know I prefer more goofy, think kind of like your Adam West style stories. That's not to that far extent, but we're talking about superheroes with a little bit of cheese. All right, I may drop some serious plot points in, but overall, we're looking for not like dark and brooding. We're looking for yes. Thank you, Randy. I just need things I can queue up. That's just like bam. So Randy's just gonna make different signs and just hold them up.
Oh, no.
So with that set in mind, so there's a couple ways that we can do this. There's a couple ways that we can do this, because the other thing I want to do is I haven't had a huge thing on setting yet, because I decided one thing might be cool is to kind of establish the city as we're building characters. And then we'll build the characters. We'll build some, like, a few notary places, maybe a few NPCs that you may interact with. And then I'll take all that information and I'll go chug a story, basically. So does that sound good?
Sounds good.
No, you can't be Batman. So with that in mind, we need a name for our city. I had one a while back, but because I've been thinking about this for a while, I called it, the one I came up with was just Silver City.
Silver City seems good.
Just-
Silver City sounds good. I'm doing my normal when you have to come up with a random name in an RPG, and I look around at my surroundings.
Yeah, exactly. Or you start spelling things backwards like soda.
Who would do that?
I don't know.
Trainers.
Hey, shut up. This is why I asked for help on names. I'm not allowed to name anything anymore.
I like Silver City.
Okay.
Silver City works.
Not
All right.
super
So who's got the best, like, let's, I'm trying to figure out. Randy, have you thought too much about your character, or are you still conceptualizing?
I'm still conceptualizing because, yeah, I just found out we're doing this a couple hours ago.
So did everybody else. But keep in mind, we're not, like I said, you don't have to fully have your sentence like I am a blank. I just want to say, like, rules aside, kind of what kind of superhero do you want to play? And if somebody else already has something, feel free to step in.
Come back to me.
All right, Ryan.
So I was looking at the rules.
Okay.
Through the character focus.
Okay.
options.
Yeah, the foci is usually a good place to start because that's where a lot of your powers are going to come in.
Yeah, it seemed like the most flavorful part of it. So I had picked it. Most of them were like intellect based that I was kind of interested in.
Okay.
Maybe existing partially out of phase. So
Ooh.
kind of like a ghost-like person.
So you're thinking like I'm going to use stereotypes so we get the idea of how the powers are working, but like your
Sure.
Kitty Pryde,
Could be. Yeah.
like you're phasing
Possible.
through walls and stuff, or you said ghosts specifically.
I don't know. I haven't thought through it. I was just kind of reading through them. There was one that was not listed under the superheroes one, but still sounded amusing.
Okay, that's not. Those are just suggestions. So.
Calculates the incalculable. That would be pretty fitting.
Nice.
One of your bonuses is that you're trained in mathematics, which could be entertaining. But maybe
Only
not
if your name is
I don't know.
Pythagorean.
So that could be, if we're going for comical, that could be pretty amusing.
Okay, I gotta look this up. Calculates the incalculable.
Yeah, your abilities include predictive equation,
Ooh.
predictive model, cognizant offense, genius. It seems comical.
Calculates the incalculable. Predict. Okay, you observe or study a creature. The difficulty is reduced to by 1. All right, predictive model. You can learn a fact from it.
It's not very flashy.
It's not very, yeah, it's not so very super heroic. But we can expand upon that. So one thing that, and we are going to interject some rules here. So one thing that makes an optional rule that they recommend for superheroes is called power shifts. And everybody here has played Cypher before, but you know how, so in the base, and just let me explain for anyone who doesn't, but whenever you have to do with difficulty or any sort of roll, you're rolling on a base difficulty of 1 to 5, or 0 actually, because you can roll, you can have 0, 0 to 10, and you can choose to spend effort to reduce that down, plus any bonuses. If you're trained in a skill, you can reduce it down further, that sort of thing. But you can spend effort to reduce it down artificially. Power shifts are permanent levels of effort that you don't have to spend your points in your pools for. So, for instance, if you want to make a super strong character, you have to specify what the power shift is in. So at starting level, you get 3 power shifts that you can spend on something. So if you wanted to make like a super strong type, like let's say the Thing kind of, or Hulk, for instance, that sort of thing, you could put like all 3 of your power shifts into strength-related tasks. And that means anytime that you're doing a strength-related task, if it's a level 3 or below, you automatically succeed on it. That helps you be more super. Like, for instance, normally, the difficulty is 3 times the level. So on a 7, that's a 21. Impossible to roll on a on a 20-sided die. But if you were doing a strength task and you had all your power shifts into strength, the difficulty 7 for most people is actually difficulty 4 for you. So you just have to beat a 12. So you're doing super heroic-y things, but that's the mechanics behind it. So the reason I'm explaining that is because technically we could flavor this however we want to. So if you wanted to do the incalculable piece, then you could put your power shifts maybe into intellect-based task, and you're basically like the, I'm trying to think, like I know there's the Thinker is a villain and some comic strips, but I'm trying like Reed Richards minus the stretchiness kind of thing, where he's like super intellectual, like Tony Stark kind of minus the suit. But then again, you could say that you have stuff for it, so that sort of thing. So those are ways that you could take what you've got in here. You don't have the foci aren't necessarily your powers per se, but it's usually just kind of a starting point.
Yeah, I'm wide open still, honestly. I don't know.
All right.
Just considering some options.
All right. While he's musing that over, Katie, do you have any thoughts or ideas?
I had a couple. And
Okay.
I'm kind of glad you went with the funnier superhero instead of like the dark gritty.
Okay.
Because there was one, and it was a type that got me on this track. It was a mad scientist.
Okay. All right. So anything in specific, did you look to see, or are you just saying conceptualize you want the mad scientist?
Well, there was one focus that wasn't in the superhero.
That's
It
fine.
conducts weird science.
Mm-hmm.
Weird science.
Or, talks to machines. You never know.
Yeah, so you could do the conducts weird science, but again, the keep in mind, you could also, like, for instance, put the power shifts also for that for intellect. So, looks like we need to kind of look back into, like, think roles here, where you've got your tank and your fighter. I'm using fantasy tropes here: fighter, wizard, and like your ranger kind of sense, where it seems like both Ryan and Katie right now both want to kind of be the wizard per se.
Or I could just, yeah.
So
take a huge
let's
goal
go
and
of it. Does anybody want to be? We do kind of need to have that the standard kind of like strength based sort of based hero. That
Well,
kind of
I was going between controls, gravity, and rages.
okay.
Ooh.
Okay, so Randy's kind of going into that role. So we got that
Well,
kind of not
controls- I mean, reading controls gravity. I mean, he's as much of a fighter and a mage,
right.
and the fact I can cleave with gravity
Yep.
at tier 3.
Okay.
That's kind of cool. I can rip somebody apart through gravity.
Okay, and then
That's impressive.
and then and then so honestly, Randy, I would look at, say, a warrior who controls gravity.
All right, where are the classes at? I'm
That's
looking at
that's
focus
the types.
Okay, where are they at in the book?
That's the first thing it should be. It should go type, descriptor, focus, I believe, or type, focus, descriptor, one of those two. So, and we can work on the mechanical filling out the character sheet bits later. It was more of I want to get the sentence down kind of for everybody. And then we can start working on world building a little bit. So, Ryan and Katie, you're both kind of on intellect heroes. We should probably limit it to 1-ish.
I'm flexible. I'm not sold on anything yet.
All right, so we'll let Katie have the mad scientist.
Seems good.
Okay. So just more inspiration. Again, feel free to ignore this. But we do also need some sort of flashy power type. We don't have that. Think like, for instance, the Flash or Human Torch. Kind of like, I guess this would be more of your mage per se. Whereas think like Katie's character could be more like a, I don't want to say bard. That's probably not right. But maybe more just the
Backup.
Yeah, I'm trying to use fantasy types because we do know those roles pretty well. But I'm talking about your heavy. What we could use is someone that's got a heavy melee, or not melee, but ranged attack kind of person.
I mean, it sounds like controlling gravity might do that. I don't know.
True.
Yeah, it
I'm
would
not
be
sure.
very mageist, but it'd be almost like a spell sword or
Right.
a warrior mage.
That's what I was thinking. Is it's kind of like he's using the gravity to amplify like his punches per se, maybe. That's the kind of direction based on what Randy said. That's kind of where I'm imagining, but
Yeah, I'm totally down for something like that. I'm just trying to browse again through the foci to sort of see what might make sense.
Okay. So I'm just going to throw out a couple of the ones in the superhero, but feel free. We've got the rides the lightning.
Ooh.
We've got also
Blazes with radiance. There we go.
blazes with radiance. Yep.
How much flashier can you be?
Yep.
Except maybe bears a halo of fire.
Then you fall into a burning ring of fire.
Ooh, I heard that.
Fun.
Wears a sheen of ice.
I mean, that's pretty cool.
Yep.
His name's gonna be
Carries-
Vanilla.
Get the best one. Carries a quiver.
Carries a
You can
quiver.
be Hawkeye.
Yep.
Hey.
I'm not feeling anything on that one.
Throws with deadly accuracy. That could be fun.
That would be more like your bullseye or Deadeye if you saw the man, everybody's got eyes in their name. If you saw Suicide Squad, think like Deadshot. Excuse me, was it Deadshot? That Will Smith's character. Let's see. Also, I mean, and that's we got other things that we could do here. You could say also, talking to machines, for instance. Fuses mind and machine, fuses flesh and steel. Or you got you could also go the psychic route. Sorry, what was that?
I like fuses flesh and steel. That sounds pretty badass.
All right, flesh and steel. Fuses flesh and steel.
Oh yes. Oh yeah. This guy looks pretty amazing.
Oh yeah, so this is like there's a couple ways that you could send this. Like some of it could be like think cyborg, but you could also this could also be used as more of your Iron Man type as well. You could go one of those two ways. Okay, so Randy, we started with you with so we kind of got your focus, and then did you look at the types at all?
Yeah, I was kind of skimming through them. I mean, I was looking at the adept. Which would be kind of going into the mage sorcerer / power wielder. But then I was looking at the descriptors and trying to figure out what would match with that really good. I mean, the warrior would work too.
Now the reason I mentioned warrior is, like I said, this could be if you're wanting to be up, if you're imagining your character like up in the dude's face, and like think of it, your big bulky tank person, but you could imagine like controls gravity, like you've controls gravity as in like you could meld it with your punches to kind of send them back even further, kind of thing, or that
could be.
That was where I said if you wanted to go that route, that's where warrior could be helpful.
Yeah, that would be the hero, the brick, or the bruiser. I mean, I guess I could be the bruiser in the warrior class or the warrior type, because I could use gravity to make me punch like crazy.
Where are you seeing the hero, brick, or bruiser?
Page 22, where it describes the superhero.
Oh, that's just giving examples of what the different types are. You don't have to pick within. Yeah.
But it works.
Yeah.
It does work.
All right, so are you thinking the warrior type? You can.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the warrior type.
Okay. So Katie, probably the adept. Just think the other way that you could go. You could go the adept, but you could also go either the speaker or explorer could be done pretty well too with the mad scientist. Any thoughts?
Find that page.
So 22 is where the types start. And I'll just so the warrior is pretty easy to understand. I guess I'll just kind of read them out so that everybody is on this kind of the same page. And then adept starts on page 29. So your adept is your master powers or abilities outside the experience, understanding, and sometimes belief of others. They might be magic, psychic, mutant abilities, or a wide weight of intricate devices. So, for instance, examples in superhero are mage, sorcerer, power wielder, master, scion, or telepath. All right. And then if you move on to the next big one is explorer, which is you're a person of action and physical ability, fearlessly facing the unknown. You travel to strange, exotic, and dangerous places and discover new things. This means you're physical, but you're also probably knowledgeable. And the examples for superhero is adventurer or crime fighter. And then the last one is speaker. This is like your noble type thing. Speaker, you're good with words and you're good with people. You talk your way past challenges and out of jams, and you get people to do what you want. And for superhero, they suggest charmer, mesmerist, or puppet master.
Nice.
Yes, thank you, Randy, for showing us what a puppet looks like.
I didn't say anything. I don't know what you're talking about.
You must be controlled. There's manipulation going on. All right, Ryan, what about you? You got any thoughts on type?
I'm trying to tie it, but I was reading through Explorer, it sounded pretty neat, but I'm not sure how that would work as a cyborg or something like
Well,
that.
keep in mind, like I said, you can flavor this as you will. So looking through, you know, so another reason to look is kind of looking at what you get stat wise. You're going to have, you know, your starting pools for Explorer, for instance, are going to be higher in might than they are anything else. Even though you can add points to other things as you wish. And then your edge, which is your discount on your abilities and effort, you're going to have an edge of 1 and a 0 in everything else. However, you automatically start with being able to use light and medium weapons. And then if you look at some of your abilities, you've got things such as block. You can decipher things, endurance, extra edge, which means you could get a back and edge in either might or speed. Knowledgeable skills, muscles of iron. For the next 10 minutes, the difficulty of all might-based actions other than attack rolls that you attempt is reduced by a step. You could be practiced in armor, so you can be on all kinds of armor. When you trained without armor, but that might not be so much for you. Physical skills, you automatically get trained in some new physical skills. No need for weapons. And Randy, some of these are in the warrior as well. That you might like, for instance, no need for weapons might be a good one for you in the special abilities.
Okay.
Because that makes your unarmed attack, like a punch or a kick, it can either be a medium or a light weapon.
And these are the different tiers of warrior?
Yes. Yeah, you're looking under
okay.
first tier warrior for now. Although I'm looking at explorer now, but some of them cross over. So that's what are you imagining your character doing, and then we can kind of work that into what kind of type that is. How are you imagining your character solving problems? Is he the one that's going to fly around and kind of shoot from above? Is he the guy that's going to run up and just like smack the dude in the face? Is he going to do a little bit of both?
Are you talking to me?
Yes, I'm talking to you.
Yes, he's gonna. I mean, I'm picturing. So I'm looking at this picture of a cyborg carrying a huge gun, and I'm not really sure. It seems good, but I might be more close combat sort of.
Okay. Well, a good explorer is a good way to go if you aren't sure, if you think you might go back and forth, because explorer you can explorer has a little bit of both the kind of intellect based skills and
I would cover both of my bases.
Exactly.
Try to be prepared to do both.
All right, and
as necessary.
And Katie, I think the two choices I would select for you is the obvious one seems to be adept, but you could also make a case for speaker as well.
Yeah, I was reading between the two. Now I can't decide between the two.
Again, it's more of thinking about how is your character going to solve problems. Is it going to be you're going to be coming up with weird, quirky devices and throwing potions, or making weird devices and throwing them, or is it you going to be more just yelling gobbledygook?
I kind of like the idea of yelling gobbledygook at people.
All right, I'm looking at the speaker. Yeah, because there's we could say that your mad scientist is more of a mad scientist / psychic. To kind of like one of those because you got like aggression, things like that, where it's just you've got a hyper intellect kind of thing. Like for instance, one of the first tier speaker abilities is called Enthrall. While talking, you grab and keep another creature's attention, even if the creature can't understand you. For as long as you do nothing but speak, you can't even move. The creature takes no actions other than to defend itself. So your guy could
underneath that erase memories.
Yep, or that. Yep.
Yeah, I think I'll go with speaker.
All right. And like I said, we can flavor these. So even though if you did want to do the psychic route, you could still have, say, you've got wired in some tech that allows you to erase memories. Like, for instance, you could be, you've got a little Men in Black mind flashy thing. Like, hey, just, hey, look at me right here. Pew! So, like I said, yeah, you could flavor this kind of in any way that you wanted to.
I'm feeling a very RoboCop vibe right now. That's kind of the mood I'm in.
For you?
Yeah.
All right, I'm down.
I like it.
Dead or alive, you're coming with me. All right, so we've got I think we've got 2 parts down. We've got a warrior who controls gravity. We've got an explorer who fuses was it flesh and steel, and then we've got a speaker who what was the focus you were looking at?
One of them was conducts weird science.
That's right.
But I don't know how that would work in this.
Hold on, let me look at the conducts weird science again. Do. So a couple of things that you can do. So it looks like your starting ability for that is going to be more of just being able for deduction. Another one you could choose is commands mental powers. If you wanted to go the telepathic route, not necessary. And then let me see where else we've got. Then there's also like the calculates the incalculable one. Where was it? There we go. Then oh, what's the focus is mind over matter?
It's like a telekinesis type thing.
That's what I thought. Yeah, that's what it is. Let's see.
There's a focus, and it doesn't do much.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw one like I would rather be reading, or who would rather be reading. Like,
yeah. So sounds. Are you still on the fence on some of these? Katie?
Oh, the mental powers one seemed cool. Ooh. I hadn't really gotten to the focus. It was like, oh, mad scientist.
Yep. All right, we can circle back and we could do descriptor while we're waiting. And this is where, so this is kind of a little bit of your background kind of thing. This is another one where it's like, how is your character solving problems? And if you look on 66, page 66 of the rule book, the core rule book has everything listed out in one place. Like, Katie, there's mad.
Yes.
Yep, right there.
Yep. There's a couple of... Randy, there's a couple of ways we could go with yours.
Yeah,
I was actually just looking at resilient.
There's resilient. There's also impulsive. You can also go... Yeah, like, there's a couple of ways we could take your character.
I kind of liked resilient. I just stand there and people punch me and I just...
Yeah, you're like the emotionalist guy that's just like, some dude's just like wailing on you. You're just like, go away.
Yeah, but I do it with my mind.
And your fists. All right. And then there's the... Ryan, for you, there's the obvious mechanical, but I don't know if you necessarily... Because you've already got that kind of covered.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's a couple ways. Like I said, if you wanted to lean more like Tony Stark-ish, you could say like foolish or clumsy.
Yes. Oh,
or you could always go intelligent.
Yeah, I don't.
You could also just go, if you want to do more RoboCop, you could go vengeful or virtuous.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was leaning towards.
All right. There's also the strong or tough. That seems kind of boring.
I really like vengeful.
Yeah. What does the vengeful give you?
I'm just getting there. Trained in speed defense, initial medium weapon.
Okay.
Trained in tasks that involve intimidation, threats, or inflicting pain through torture.
Yeah. Nice.
Not against it.
And you have an additional medium weapon.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay.
I'm gonna read a couple other ones, but I'm liking that one.
So give us an idea. Is this the kind of guy are we talking RoboCop where he's got a sidearm just like embedded in him, or is his like, are we taking like Cyborg where his hand becomes a cannon?
I think that's like a later on thing where I get embedded weapons, but more just, I mean, kind of not like created or born as a cyborg, but more of like a patching on like thing.
He's kind of working this on as he goes kind of thing.
Yeah. That's kind of what I'm envisioning.
He did some operation to become superhuman.
Right.
And now it's like you know how some people once they do cosmetic surgery, they just keep doing it more and more.
Yeah, it's like, oh man, that's a big cut on my arm. Let me put a big metal plate there.
Or no, it's like, let me cut off the arm and put a robot arm on instead.
Replace the whole
Like,
arm.
oh man, I got a cut. All right, let me just cut it off.
That's gonna cost a bunch to replace. Yeah, no, that's kind of what I'm picturing.
Okay.
So vengeful would make sense for that sort of as I'm, modifying myself.
Also rugged, maybe.
Rugged is a good shot. Yeah, I like that too.
I'm looking out. What else?
Tough, maybe not. Rugged, maybe more sense.
Hideous.
That would be fun.
Don't look at me.
Yeah, I think. I don't know. Rugged seems like it's more nature-y.
True.
Writing, placating natural animals. I don't see that happening.
Or you could just be mysterious. And then, Katie, were we going to go with the mad with you?
Yes. Did you read it?
I saw it. You've. Oh, are you going to be muttering to yourself? Please tell me so.
Yes, but did you read what you get to do?
Oh, the GM intrusion?
That.
So when she's in the presence of a major discovery or subjected to great stress, I get to do a GM intrusion that directs her next action without giving her XP. That's pretty awesome. I love it's like your mind is quite fragile, though.
Those GM intrusions were fun at that game we played up at PAX Unplugged.
Yeah, they can be.
That was a very fun aspect.
I'm still torn on it. I may do some thinking with some people, but I may do a version of that for this game. So what Randy's talking about is there is a horror mode alternative rule for Cypher system, which is as you want to make things more and more tense, you have a number that goes up and up and up on when GM intrusions happen. So like right now, they always happen at a 1. But maybe as the thing's tension builds up, it's now at a 2 or a 3. Think of like your threat meter in Grand Theft Auto. But I'm tempted to apply a version of that for like in the sense of collateral damage. Like it's the if you're not taking steps to save people, then that collateral, there's a bigger chance that something might go wrong to like other people, like an innocent bystander kind of thing. I don't know. I have to think about that one. All right. So I think Randy's is Randy. Did you ever figure out you going resilient?
Yep, I'm a resilient
warrior who controls gravity.
Yep.
All right.
That would be first tier is the one I'm looking at.
Yep.
I might end up doing mechanical after all. Or, I don't know, resilience sounds fun too, actually.
We could be resilient together.
Are you resilient too? I missed
You're
that.
the
I am resilient.
resilience.
I literally just heard that. Yeah. No, I don't know.
I don't know. Too many options.
It is.
I
Yeah,
mean,
it's
if only we had a way of randomly choosing between items.
Yeah, I already rolled from my background. I kind of liked what it came up.
I like vengeful. I think that's what I'm gonna go.
You're gonna go vengeful. So we got a vengeful explorer who fuses flesh with steel.
Indeed.
All right, and then Katie, where are you on yours?
The mad speaker who commands mental powers.
Oh, so you are gonna go the mental powers route?
Yes. That's gonna be fun.
All right. Now, I will note that we have one player that couldn't make it tonight because she had. So my friend Judith, who played with us before in the Numenera game, she's going to be playing in this one too. But she thinks she might have the flu, and so didn't want to be on camera for that.
Sure.
But I may get her caught up in the meantime. All right, so we've got kind of like a baseline, and now what I want to do is let's build the city a little bit. So we got Silver City. Where's your hangout? Like we're gonna start this as you guys have all been together for a while. You fought a couple of battles, kind of thing. But where is your headquarters? Your base? Is it like a skyscraper? Is it a trailer? Is it?
I'll take this one since I'm the big guy. I'm a bouncer at a club.
Well, that could be your secret identity. But I'm talking about when you're all chilling. Where's your headquarters where there's the red phone that blinks when there's there's trouble.
At the club, at the bar.
Okay, so you have a club.
Like Deadpool.
Okay.
So are we all there? I assume that would make sense.
Yeah, that's where we hang out. I mean, it's just an idea. We all hang out there. When they call, the bartender answers, and he's our screen, and
I like it. All right.
like Deadpool,
So is the bar just like the Dirtbags? Or what's the name? What's the name of this bar?
That's a good one.
Ooh.
You just call it the Dirtbag.
I don't know.
It's just an idea. I mean, you don't have to go with that one.
I kind of like the idea of the club, or not club, but like a bar.
Mm-hmm.
And like you've got some bartender there that's just like scrubbing stuff down, and he's the one answering the phone, and he's like, "The mayor wants to see you."
And it gives Chris a very good NPC he has to play.
Exactly. Don't worry, we're getting to that. All right.
So on a side note related to that, if I look like a half metal, half human person, how okay are people with that in this city? Like, is this a commonplace thing?
I mean, you're a superhero, so people know, and you're a famous superhero.
Yeah, okay.
So people know who you are.
All right. And I mean, we need patrons in the bar, so I don't want to.
Half the time, if you're just deep in thought, people think you're a statue and start like poking at you, and you're like, you start moving, and they're like, "Oh God."
I like it.
And you could have we could go like Applebee's with this, where you've got trinkets and stuff on the walls from like
tchotchkes.
yeah.
Oh yes.
You know, like
Except our pieces of flair are souvenirs from our adventures.
exactly, like you've got the robotic arm of some alien species you stopped is like lining one wall.
The other one is right here. Works pretty good.
Oh gosh, I just have this now. I suddenly have this thing where like your lower half's gonna get cut off, and you're just gonna have like robotic spider legs, like tick 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 tick.
I mean, if the price is right.
Oh, and at the bar, my special beer, you tap upside down.
Nice. I get it. The gravity thing.
That's
And
pretty
only
cool.
person who can drink it is when I'm there.
That's flashy.
It's flashy.
People will pay money for that. I like it.
He's already thinking the business side.
No, it's my beer. Only I can drink it because you can't pour it unless I'm there.
I'm not sure if I still drink beer. Maybe I drink oil at this point. I'm not sure how far along I am.
Or you drink Guinness. It's like the same thing, right?
It serves both needs.
Or just like really high proof whiskey.
Yeah.
No,
could
you
say
can
you're an
pour
al-
that in an engine
you could
and
be-
run it.
You could be like like Bender, where you're an alcohol powered robot.
Also, that could work. I really need to come up with an image of my character for next time.
Yeah, that's where like we'll get into. You guys will have a couple weeks to figure out backgrounds and origin stories and the look of your character.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we've got a bar. We'll hold off on the name, and we know we're gonna have a bartender on there. And how did this guy get so lucky to work here? Does he have powers, or is he just a random dude?
He's my cousin.
Or is he just a guy that owes you guys a life debt?
That works. That works.
That you guys just saved him from a rough spot, so...
He's our Chewbacca.
Actually, we could say it's his bar, and you guys are just able... He lets you use it for your stuff as a way of saying thanks because your old headquarters got destroyed. And you didn't have the money to... You didn't have the money or the time to worry about building a new building, and he owed you anyways.
Sounds like the Defenders.
What's wrong with that?
Nothing. The Defenders are awesome.
That is kind of the tone I'm looking for. The sarcasticness, at least. Okay, so we've got the bar. That's where you're going to be. So the next big obvious location we need to have is City Hall. So let's see. Katie, name me something unique about this City Hall. Just a unique detail.
It's a skyscraper.
Okay.
Most normal city halls are nice and small. This one's like in your face huge.
Yeah, okay. So the city's really proud of it. It's like a big touristy thing.
Yep.
Okay, so it's flashy. Okay. All right, Ryan, give me another detail about City Hall. Let's say history. Has it been there long? Is this brand new?
No, it's a couple of years old, but it had to be rebuilt along with some of the surrounding buildings thanks to one of our recent fiascos.
Okay. Now, when they rebuilt it, did they build it? Is that why they decided to go all big and flashy this time, or did they rebuild it the exact same way?
No, it was a redesign. It was not this way before. I guess as a city is starting to expand, right? decided to have, I don't know, more space, more panache.
Okay. All right, Randy, there is in this building, because, you know, a lot of skyscrapers, they have a lot of different things inside, but we'll say they rent out the bottom floor of the skyscraper to a business. What is that business?
A shawarma restaurant.
Okay. All right. So I think we got City Hall fleshed out a little bit, and I'll come up with even more details on this.
Oh, we have a new player.
Uh-oh.
Hi.
All right. So, with that, let's go. We need a bank of some kind. There's always a robbery at the bank. So, Ryan, what type of bank is this? Is this a fairly large, like very commercial grade bank, or is this like a mom and pop kind of, or is this like a credit union style thing?
It's a very commercial. Like, we're talking not as big as City Hall, but like it's a pretty big.
Okay, it's a big business.
Focal point. Yeah, it's a big national corporation.
All right. And Randy, what are they doing? Because, you know, they're always getting attacked by various supervillains or people trying to, like, make their mark. So what are they doing to try and combat this?
They have us on emergency ready call.
Is that it? They just have you on speed dial?
Or they have the bar on speed dial.
They have the bar on speed dial?
Yeah. And plus, a very sophisticated security system that calls the bar.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a Dirtbag. Can I help you? Yeah, Bank's being robbed. Hold on, let me see if you're there. Hey, y'all here?
All right, I'll do you one better. So in addition to that, you know how they have, like, at the drive-thrus for the banks, they have the vacuum tubes? They have they're like over in the side of the bar, there are vacuum tubes that take you straight to the bank.
I think that's really cool. I like that.
So we get a giant airtight vacuum tube. Do they send it back to the bar with a sucker in it?
Yes. And it's just one giant version. It looks just because they didn't want to pay money to have it redesigned. So it looks just like a giant version of one of the ones that they have the drive-through, complete with you have to open up the plastic case and get in and close it, and then it just shoop, goes away, because it was cheaper to just you know, take the scale and just kind of like stretch it out versus having to redesign a specially thing for you guys. Because time is money.
That's good.
Okay. Katie, who runs the bank, or who is the head representative of the bank? We'll say like the manager or whatever. What's he like?
Let's see. Ooh, a nice, sweet little old lady who just doesn't understand why her bank keeps getting robbed.
Gotcha. Did she start? She started this bank and she's kind of watched it grow?
Yes.
Okay. And she takes it personal anytime it gets attacked.
Exactly, like any old little lady would.
and she actually is little. Like she's like 4.5 feet tall.
Yeah, she's like, hunched over, kinda.
Okay, cool. So we got a bank. Let's see. Where else do we need location-wise here? We need let's expand on, let's name out a couple of industries that are big in Silver City. So, Randy, give me an industry that Silver City's big for.
I'm going to go for the easy one. It's a tourism.
All right, so we got a lot of touristy things. All right, Ryan?
Somewhat related to that. We're not too far from the nearest airport, so we've got a lot of sort of trade that comes through the area too.
Okay. Like imports and exports. So maybe it's also like it's on a coast.
Yeah.
So you got the beach for tourism, and you got like boats coming in and then going on planes to elsewhere.
Sure.
So it's a shipping port / transportation hub?
Correct.
Cool.
All right, Katie, what's another big industry in Silver City?
On a more grim note, the black market.
The black. Okay, so it's not just trade in the.
It's not,
trade,
legitimate trade. There's a thriving black market.
I mean, that would make sense considering the accessibility.
Yeah.
I mean, there's always that container ship with, illegal hot pants in it or something.
Oh, I was just going to say there's always a container ship filled with containers. All right, Randy, give me something else. Something non-travel-y or tradey. Types of businesses in here.
There is a large population or like farmers market of organic food.
Okay.
So like a big farmers market that, farmers come from all around to bring food to. Which also links into the shipping port because they can ship their goods out.
Gotcha. It's got like, yeah, okay. So we got a central food market. Maybe there's also like some flower vendors. And, there's a couple of restaurants close by that are shopping there for their foods.
Yeah, I'm thinking like Pike's Market in Seattle or that place that was in Philadelphia.
Right. I gotcha. The Reading Terminal.
Reading Terminal, yep.
Okay. Ryan, give me an. I'm gonna get each of you to do one more, and that'll probably be good for that.
Another like corporation. Or
yeah, it doesn't have to be big industry, but just a business that's just unique in Silver City.
Sure. The again tying into the food, the flavor, the brand of food here is kind of unique to this area. You don't really get it much else. Kind of not like a Cajun type food, but you can something like that where it's like its own unique, flavor.
Okay.
Shawarma is a big thing, apparently. Maybe we're doing that. But one of the big things is there are a lot of restaurants that sort of do their own version of that sort of cuisine.
Got it. We could say since this is Silver City, they're famous for their silver platters.
Sure. I'm okay with that. Yeah, bright, extremely, ridiculously shiny platters.
Okay. And Katie, what's our last unique or, just a business that stands out that people go to whenever they're in Silver City?
Okay, you know how they have in The Incredibles Edna, who makes the costumes?
Right.
We have our own Edna.
Okay. Is she a tailor to normal people also, or is she only like a superhero kind of Taylor?
She has her normal stuff as a front.
Okay, so is it a secret? Like,
it's a secret, but all the other superheroes know. Until someone accidentally stumbles upon it, but...
Okay, so it's like a trade secret. All right, cool. That gives us a little bit of an idea of what this city is like, and then we can kind of that gives me some starting points for developing a story. All right, so we got our characters, we got a little bit of our city, and I think that'll probably be it for this initial section. Unless anybody's got questions or something else they want to work on while we're all here.
Just need to fill all this out.
Well, that can be done off stream.
Yeah.
That's a lot of tediousness. And all you got to do to start is just look at your 3 types, and it'll give you the starting place for all the different skills and abilities and stuff. But for next time, we do need to get backstories, kind of an origin, and I want an NPC out of it. Like your character has a relation to another NPC somehow. Either it could be someone in one of these places, like you've got a contact, or it could be a family member, or it just somehow you know somebody else that you may interact with beforehand.
So a couple of questions. Does that have to be a friendly NPC?
No, it does not. It does not have to, but it has to be someone that you've got a detailed history with.
Sure. And are we trying to relate? So they're like in each focus, I guess there are potential connections with other PCs. Do you want to do any of that, or?
No, that's just suggestions.
While, so.
Yeah, but we're gonna go on the assumption that you guys have known each other and worked with each other for a while.
Cool. Sounds good.
All right. And with that, I think we're gonna get this quick stream to a close. So thanks everyone for switching on to this after we had to kind of do the double take, and thanks anyone who was watching on the stream. And I think this is going to be like a once a month kind of thing, so probably look around this time next month. And Ryan, we finally got a Cypher stream going.
I know.
We've been trying to do one forever.
It's good. It's good stuff. It seems like a really fun system, so I'm excited to get into it.
All right. And we'll see all you guys later, and thanks for watching.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Bye.
Are we off? I guess. I should look.
I didn't even pull up the web stream.
No, I didn't either.